the western hill where we could see the two German gunboats under the wall to your right. The British ships and the two French ships are out there on the other side of the hill. Harbour. We could hear them shout through their gauge speaker in good English, so I think it must have been from an English boat. The Germans are coming down from your left, lads. Watch out. After that, we made our way across the hill to a concrete box. I think it was a lookout. You can see on this hill it's been made into a golf course. So it's a lot different to what it was then. I'll try to find out the position from where the concrete box was, where we put the grenades in. It is the shot of the eastern feature. What you could see from the western feature. The eastern feature covered the western feature with gunfire, machine gun fire, on the day of 7th of June. This caused a lot of casualties among A Troop who were stuck up here. Around this spot here, where the concrete lookout post was, where Lieutenant Goldstream himself put a 36 grenade into it. This gave away air position, and the Germans, who were just up here on top of the hill where the trees are, started to machine gun us and throw down stick grenades. Lieutenant Goldstream had one drop right on his helmet. As it came, he sort of ducked down, lay down, and it exploded on his helmet. And we thought, well, that's that. So we decided that we'd move across the field round here. There was a minefield going up. That trapped us. We couldn't go no further for a little while. But before we moved off, as we went to move off, Harry McAllister was wounded in the neck. I stopped with him and bandaged his neck up, which bled like a tap being turned on from a nose pipe. I put one dressing on his neck because he'd got a wound in the main artery in his neck. That just soaked the blood and it came straight through, so I just put a shell dressing on it, which seemed to hold the blood. We moved then away, and the lad called Brooksy, I can't think of his first name, was with us, and he got wounded in the face. He put his own dressing on, just there, and Tommy Robbins, who was right to our right, not knowing what had happened to us, was still moving up till he got to this minefield. And there he was when we got to him. By then, Lieutenant Goldstream had come too. He must have been just knocked out. And he sort of stumbled along with us till we met up with Tom. From the minefield, we crept through it very, very dingily. We all followed one another, hand, foot, and I think it was dead lucky. We must have just picked the right spot in it, or there was no mines, it was a dummy one. But anyway, we got through that safely. It was about 4 yards wide, so it wasn't too bad. We moved right down then, down the hill. Oh, while we was up here on the hill, Sergeant Fletcher was just down here, wounded with Corporal Amos. knelt by his side. He died there. I don't exactly know what happened. It's just a little spot somewhere just down there. And some say that the Germans just threw another grenade at him and took Amos prisoner. We walked down the hill, then the other side of the minefield. The Germans didn't follow us. So it must be that crater there somewhere where the box was, the concrete box, and the Germans up there by the trees. Of course they couldn't, those machine gunning us was just in a little hollow, so they just couldn't catch us as long as we kept down low. We were safe in the machine guns, but the grenades wasn't so happy. Yes, it kept on as we waited there, as I bandaged up poor old Harry. He'd lost a lot of blood. He was a big lad, but he did come with us then. Made our way down to these houses. And just before we got to them, we had to go over a little wall. And on the other side, it was about 7 feet drop. So Tom decided to put Lieutenant Goldstream on his back and run over this garage, which was backed up to this wall. Unfortunately, the garage was a bit rotten on the top, and they both went straight through it. Well, we jumped then over the wall through an edge next to the garage. We opened the garage door. What did we see? Tom and Lieutenant Goldstream were sat in this big wheelbarrow. I don't think they knew just where they were at the moment. By then, Harry McAllister passed out, and we see a toilet, a toilet, you know, one with a bucket and a big seat. So we sat him in the corner of that and shut the door. And then we made our way along this road until we met a patrol of Germans. They seen us and we seen them, and we doubled back quick. We'd lost a rifle. Well, I'd lost mine in the hedgerow as I jumped over the wall. So we wasn't in a very good position to attack them. So we went along behind this wall, if I could find the place. We found a cellar where we hid in. The Germans came in. They couldn't see us because we were right behind the big wine vats. Captain Cousins, with the most of the troop, went right along this path in front of the German positions, which you can see. There you are, they're still there. Look, there it is. See? And of course I was in full view of the Germans on their eastern position, plus the 2 gunboats which were in the harbour. Number 1 section, the Lieutenant Goldstream, went up round the top to go on top to meet them on the other side, but that didn't happen because they got so many casualties here. A troop. Captain Cousins ordered them to get down into the town to take cover while he decided his next plan. Beautiful view we did have as we lay on top of this cliff or hill of the harbour. And they've got boats. There's a harbour entrance. This is where the barbed wire crossed the road. These 2 walls wasn't here, but this very old one was. There was no gates there, and a lot of the lads just got behind that barbed wall. Lieutenant Goldstream took took the Bangalore torpedo, which we'd carried. I'd got off the boat and swum ashore with. I think it was the only one the Commando got ashore. He poked it through this barbed wire. I gave him the detonator, and I was a bit disappointed that he had the job of detonating it. I lay by him, by his side, as he banged the fuse, and off it went. No sooner had it got, it just cut a hole big enough for us to go through in single file. And that's the rest of A Troop followed us straight through this small gap. That's the wall, that's the old wall, look. And now, of course, there's no houses built here. There's a spot where a lot of the wounded were attended before taken further down into the town. Just here. Captain Cousins decided, with what men he'd got left and what he could muster up, if he could, enough men, he was going to go up. This is the eastern hill, and he realised that got to be taken first before you got a chance of capturing the western feature. And that's the way they went, up there, right up, right on top. But Captain Cousins was killed as he was just going charging onto a machine gun post. Just up there, right on top. If I go up there and I can find where the trenches are, I'll see what I can do. Good steep bank. So, round the corner to the barbed wire. Through the barbed wire, up onto the edge of the hill, and then across the hill we went. That was the route. There was only 5 of us left on top of the hill. The rest of the troop had heard Captain Cousins' order to take cover down in these houses down in the town. Up, after coming off the front, number 12 there was a house where the Germans wanted to set up a machine gun nest. The man in the house wouldn't allow it, looking for A Troop. As we walked up the hill, up this small hill, this road, there we are. We wouldn't have stood a chance with a German machine gun pointing out that door. We went up here, unaware of all this. We went around there, turned left to go straight up the hill. This is the King's Hotel where we're staying for 3 nights. There we are. I think our door is that 3rd one along there on the top veranda. It's quite comfortable. Yes. You see, it's not far from where all the action was taking place. It's only just, what, not 15 yards away, really. If it wasn't there in 44, there's a lot more of the houses, wasn't there? You can see it standing just on the road outside the King's Hotel, and it's just past where that car's turning right, where we turn left. You can see that door up there. That was on the corner, and that's the way we went up. Another shot in front of the King's Hotel. That's the reception. I can't say that word. The reception area. King's Hotel. On the road is some public toilets. They would have been handy in 1944. Very handy. They are the two chambermaids. They also do the breakfast in the morning. From the bottom hill, I think they must have knocked these old houses down. But just over there was a German machine gun nest, what we came up against. We doubled back sharpish from that. Yes. I've never seen this waterfall. No, I don't know. Anyway, I've seen it now. I've never seen this one either. What I'm trying to find is a house where Corporal Chesney, her sick mate Tiffy, had all our wounded bandaged up. Looks similar. If it's not their house, well, I think it could be, according to its position, just round the corner of where Chesney commandeered to put all the lads in that was wounded. He bandaged them up. They all sat. I looked through that little window there. I always remember. Oh, they sat all round the side of the room. They'd cleaned it all the furniture, no furniture in there. Just sat up against the wall, bandages on heads, legs, arms. And there were some on stretchers in the middle of the floor. What a sorry sight it was. Chesney there said, come out, he said, do you know if there's any more wounded? We told him what we'd have done with Harry McAllister. He said, right, leave it to us, we'll pick it up. And I looked through the door there, inside, and I could see more of the lads. And he took Green Brooks in there. Brooksy was his name, so I knew it. He said, we'll look after you. And then the captain from the reserve troop, or another troop, came up to us. It's just on the corner, like that. There's Tommy Robbins and myself, there's the only two there, they troop. Apart from the wounded. He says, you've just come off that western hill? The A troop said, yes sir. He says, right, you'll now lead my troop up, back up there, the way. You know, see what's what. He said, oh, Tom said, no sir, you're not going back up there. Oh, he said, you are. He just pointed his Tommy gun at us. So of course we did go back up. And we led them right up, back up on top of the hill, pointed out where the gunboats were in the harbour, and he got two brain gunners to cover while he was going to send a patrol along the wall to board them. But I don't think that happened because the Germans came off the boats. They had a dog with them, and they gave themselves up. Yes, just the corner. I'm sure that's where it was. Mind you, it looked different. I don't think that gate was there. I'm sure it wasn't. Yes, after that he just told us to clear off, so we came back down into the town and met up with the rest of the lads. And that's where we heard of how Captain Cousins was killed. But the cellar, the wine cellar, what we hid in, was just here somewhere. And big doors. I remember such a great big key, and it's a big wooden old door. Now, of course, the difference has been made into a garage. And that's where the Germans looked for us. But fortunate for us, we were hiding behind the wine barrel, or cider barrels, which were very big. We had our backs propped up against the wall, and the feet on the rims of the barrel, so that it couldn't be seen, not even the feet if they looked underneath. Mind you, they didn't have a very good look. Perhaps they thought they was walking into a trap, but they cleared off. So where we walked down, carrying Lieutenant Goldstein, Tom at his head, I was at his feet. See them steps? Well, they were just wooden ones at the time, I'm sure. It's all been altered. As we walked up outside his house, and in where they'd put a bed, on the bed we laid Lieutenant Goldstreet, all white pillows and sheets. As soon as we'd put him onto the bed, the lady, the gentleman in the house, this parson that led us there, ushered us straight out, because I believe they were frightened in case the Germans came and found them, us in their house. So, you know, because you can believe that. So, the granddaughter, see, just came up to visit him. There we are, all the lads, just waiting. We swing around, see Mr. Birkinshaw taking a view from his balcony. There goes the post lady back to the hotel, just delivered a few letters. Stopped to have a chat, as all postmen do. Never in a hurry, are they? Middle of the road as well. He's a nice little group chatting away. Mint, making a fuss of his granddaughter. There he is. There they are.
Explain that one away now.
I don't know, Mint managed to manage this one. He's got a beauty in that one.
Introduction.
I don't think she looks like Mint, or does she?
They're doing for you. What
Yeah.
for you? How old are you?
Yeah, there you are. That's a lovely smile. Cheese. Cheese, cheese, cheese. There's a Commando.
She's a Commando.
Yes. Here's a shot from the seafront of the Western Hill. As you can see, the German concrete box is still up there. They had really good control over the harbour.
Chocolate and brandy.